So what do you do when you feel like you have no connection to your heart and you don't know where to start? Well, you start small. Think smaller. Instead of thinking about your heart exploding in your chest and dragging you toward your dreams and your purpose, think smaller. Because the fact of the matter is that your heart is already communicating with you. So the question then becomes, how do you listen to what's already there? And you do that by giving your heart attention. Much like you water a plant. When you plant a seed, it doesn't go from seed to a full-blown plant overnight. So you have to water it and you have to give it your attention. In the same way, you have to give your heart attention and begin to listen to the inner nudges of your heart. So for me, when I'm following my heart, it comes in mostly in the way I feel. So I feel like I have cat whiskers all over my body, and let's say I need to make a decision on something. Well, what I'll do is let the decision sit, I'll think about it, I'll use my mind, but I'll also notice how I feel about it, and if there's any fear or anything like that, I may take a walk to calm down, but I won't make a decision right away if it's a big one. So there's nothing wrong with waiting a few days and seeing how you feel. So for me, listening to my heart means listening to those positive pulls that I have and looking at what I'm interested in, what fascinates me, and what pulls me forward. So don't think about large slaps in the face of inspiration. Think about subtle nudges, kind of like a whisper in a noisy room. That's your inner wisdom. So there are no radical changes you need to make. If you have no connection to your heart, which is impossible, then focus on going from 1% connection to 1.1%. So you don't have to go from 1% to 100%. You can experiment, you can become curious about how your heart communicates with you. So to get started, think small. Pick out books you like to read based on how much you resonate with them and how big of a positive pull they have for you. Take a different road to work. Take a walk in a different part of town or wherever you live, and listen to your heart. And the more you begin listening, the more you will notice the signals that are already there. It might be a voice in your head, or it might be a picture in your head, or a feeling like I have. But I have a mix of everything, so don't close yourself to anything. And remember that it takes time. It takes time for a plant to grow, and it takes time to start noticing what your heart is telling you. So don't be in a rush, let it take time, and remember to start small. If it feels overwhelming, then you're probably pushing yourself a bit too much. So let it take the time it takes and notice what's already there. If nothing is there, then notice what you're interested in, because you have interests. If you had no interests, it wouldn't matter what you did. So you have some interests. You have something that makes you curious, that pulls you toward it like a magnet. So use that curiosity, because that's your heart communicating with you. And it takes time to develop discernment for what's your heart and what's just you seeking pleasure, but that comes with time. So you already have your heart there, it's communicating with you. Now it's up to you to listen to what it's saying. And you do that by becoming aware of what's already there and letting it take time. I know I'm repeating myself, but the key is to let it take the time it takes, and you'll be just fine. Now, if you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Click subscribe, do all of those things. And if you want more on this topic, come visit me at wakeupcloud.com.